Yeah, it's a cute movie that deserved way more attention than it got. All right, hey guys, welcome to part two of my very basic attempt to try to catch up as much as humanly possible for the end of the year. So this is Strange World, which is the Disney movie that I was gonna go see again before I caught COVID. It just messed up my entire schedule, but now it's on Disney Plus, so it's easy to go watch. And this is also a movie that kind of I don't want to say historically, but infamously bombed at the box office because Disney made like no effort to advertise it or promote it, and it's hard not to blame it on the fact that it was probably a Chapek decision because it does involve openly gay characters. Which, granted, there is not a lot of that in there. There could have been more. I wish there was more. It does. I feel like it kind of falls on the border of queer baiting, but I feel like I'm not the one to make that call. But anyway. So yeah, Strange World is the latest Disney movie that is kind of in the vein of Fantastic Four or Journey to the Center of the Earth, with an animation style that felt reminiscent to me of like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, or it feels like it kind of took some of those animators and kind of Disneyfied them a bit, which isn't a bad thing. The animation is gorgeous. The world looks gorgeous. The colors and use, like the environments, all look fantastic. It wears its Pulp Fiction inspiration on its sleeve, and it's a lot of fun. It's cute. It's nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing I don't think I ever really like. I would say like, oh my god, you have to go watch this. But you know, for like an hour and 45-minute Disney film, I think it does its job perfectly fine. It does feel a little out of. What's the word I'm looking for? It definitely feels it falls out of its routine lately, which is good. I like it when Disney expands into different territories. Like, I personally miss the Lilo and Stitch Atlantis era. We just kind of just weird little experiments. It feels like Disney hasn't really done that in a long time. It usually involves, like, pretty standard adventure fare, which, again, isn't bad. It just, I like it when Disney gets experimental. And granted, I once call this like ultra, like, ooh, they're really taking risks here. But, you know, for what it is, I had a good time with it. It's a fun pulp adventure. The characters are good. Jake Gyllenhaal is trying a lot harder than I thought he was going to. The trailer does not do this movie a lot of favors, really. Especially whatever sound bites they got Jake Gyllenhaal for the trailer in particular, it just feels like he just sounds bored throughout it. He's not. He does actually do a pretty good job here. Everyone does a pretty good job here. I don't know the full cast off the top of my head. So very basic plot rundown for those who don't know this movie or don't know what it's actually about, because again, the advertising movie kind of sucked ass. The short story is this movie is about a man named Jake, who is the son of a well-known explorer who kind of dragged him along through all these adventures that he didn't really want to be a part of, but he was kind of forced to drag along because his father wanted to build a legacy, and he was part of that legacy, so therefore he had to be part of it too. This eventually comes, and his whole thing is he wants to explore past this like Isle of Mountains that no one's ever been past ever. He wants to be the first one to do it. And it looks like they're getting close to that, but what ends up happening is that his son Jake makes a discovery. I think the character's name is Jake. I'm gonna look it up while I'm describing this. God damn, my phone's been fucking freaking out lately. But yeah, so he makes a discovery of these plants, I think they call them like Pulp or something like that. It starts with a P. That he finds out later can be used like as an energy source. But he and his father have a disagreement about either pursuing the discovery they've made or trying to pursue new discoveries past the mountains. The father chooses to go through the mountains alone, and Jake decides to take his discovery and take it back to civilization. From that point on, he becomes world famous as the one to kind of pioneer this new power source. And they just kind of presume his father is dead. At this point, he's married. He's got a son who is also kind of trying to figure out what he wants to be. He kind of wants to go in the great wide somewhere. He wants to go explore the world a bit. But now Jake wants him to be a farmer. So you can definitely see where the obvious parallels are obvious. What are these characters' names? I finally managed to pull up my IMDb. Wow, I was way off. I don't know where I got the name Jake. His name is Searcher. Wow, okay. I fucked that up. I probably just like, oh, Jake Gyllenhaal also plays a character named Jake. So yeah, Searcher is the name of the main character, and Ethan is the name of his son, who's played by oh god, I'm gonna butcher this name. Jabouki Young-White. I apologize if I butchered that. And who plays the dad? Oh, Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid is the dad, whose name is Jaeger Clade. They're called the Clades. But anyway, one day when they're in this new civilization that, you want to call him Jake, Searcher has kind of pioneered and brought into the world. He's one day visited by his members of his father's old team and told that whatever they discovered, they're like, all the roots for this thing run to one central core, and the central core appears to be dying, which means all the crops are going to be dying, which means civilization's kind of fucked. So we need to go down this big hole we found to go figure it out. And turns out they go inside the hole, and they find, oh no, a strange world! Ha! There's the title. Where they happen to find, Searcher happens to find his father, his son becomes his stowaway, and it means his wife pursues, so the entire family kind of goes along for this journey. It's kind of where the Fantastic Four parallels come in. To kind of explore this world, and also where Searcher gets to reunite with his father and reconnect with him, and they have an emotional journey to understand each other better, and then they find out, as they find out the truth about the world they're in and what actually lies beyond the mountains, and also how to solve their current dilemma. So that's the most basic terms I can put it in, and like again, for what it is, it works pretty well. The voice acting's top notch. The way the fatherly relationships are established and communicated, I really like that element of it. And this is coming from somebody who has massive daddy issues. And I like this lesson that they're imparting, that I feel like this is a lesson that's not aimed just at kids. It feels like it is also aimed very much at adults, in that, hey, parents, you need to let your kids be their own thing. You need to learn how to communicate with them, and you need to be able to recognize your own faults, because you are going to make mistakes, and you are going to kind of project your own dreams and wishes onto your kids, and they may not want that, and that's okay. And I like that lesson. I think that's important for parents to understand, because especially people in my generation, I feel we grew up with a lot of projection from our parents, and it really does just take a lot out of you. And what I liked about the character's journey here is that Searcher is very much trying not to repeat the mistakes of his father, but ends up doing exactly what his father did, just in a different context. And I feel like that those are also like very real, very obvious pitfalls to fall under as a parent, or as somebody who grew up with trauma. Because like this is definitely a character who has all these characters have just a shit ton of drama, except for the son. The son might be kind of free of that until this movie. So the way they communicate around that, and the way they try to start learning to understand each other better and learn to apologize for the mistakes they're making, and legitimately try to be better, to actually put the work in to be better, is a theme I like, and it's definitely a reoccurring theme in Disney movies as of late, which tells me a lot of the modern day writers working in animation are ones who grew up with some shit they have not resolved. Yeah, and I feel like I'm talking more about the parental themes more than the actual, like, the fantastic elements, which I think are more worthy of mention, and they are. Like, the designs are very cool. Again, it's very Pulp Fiction, and I like, they were fun to look at. It's very colorful. It's very entertaining. But for me, that's not the strongest part of the movie. The strongest part of the movie is the character relationships. I will say, like, I do feel like some of the writing and some of the voice acting is a bit more whimsy, I think, than usual standard Disney fare, which it means it doesn't quite land as much as some of the previous recent works have done for me. But I think on the whole, it still works pretty well. At the very least, it's fun. And then again, the day, that's what a movie based on Pulp Fiction should be. It should be fun. It should be colorful. It should be bright. It should be imaginative. It should feel like you're exploring a new world, and that's exactly what this movie does. And I feel like this movie definitely has cult status written for me, and I feel like it's already kind of getting that now that it's on Disney Plus and a lot more people have actually seen it. I am disappointed this movie bombed. Like, I feel like this should have been at least a modest success. But this one felt like Disney deliberately sent this one out to die. It looks like they didn't have any faith in it, and I'm wondering how much that is because of the queer romance in it. Which again is one of those weird things because it is more prevalent than in a lot of other Disney movies, but it's still kind of feels like a footnote. That being said, I did like how everyone just kind of accepts it. No one questions it or makes any kind of boomer jokes or anything like that. Everyone's like, "Yep, my son is gay. He's got a crush on this boy," and that's totally fine. That's normal. That being said, it would have been cool to see that played out more. It would have been see them do more with it. But it does kind of feel like what Disney has done with their previous works recently, which is it's there, but we can easily cut it out if we need to release it overseas. So it's one of those cases I don't know. To me, it feels like queer baiting a bit, but again, I am a straight white male, so I feel like it's really not my place to make that judgment call. It's only what it feels like to me, and if anyone else who's watching this disagrees with that, I'm very open to education on that front. Because quite honestly, there's still a lot about queer baiting in particular I'm still learning a lot about. But yeah, on the whole, I think this is a perfectly good, fun, entertaining adventure film. And I think if you do like movies like Atlantis, A Lost Empire, which I feel like has similar vibes, I think you'll like this movie too. So yeah, I think it's all I really have to say about The Strange World. And I'm gonna do my best to work through fucking whatever else I gotta go see. So thank you all for watching. See you next time.